This is the downtown square at the heart of Bergen. There's some modern buildings, of course, in the city today, and there's extensive parklands around the city as well as a large park in the middle of town. A number of great restaurants. Norwegian food emphasizes fish and potatoes, vegetables, all your standard European items are here. And in the summer when we visit, it's mild enough that you can eat outdoors for lunch or outdoors for dinner. There's a large park in the middle of town with a beautiful fountain and a lake. This is the Lillelungavarten. The Bergensers love to come out here on a sunny summer afternoon and picnic or just sunbathe, relax on the grass. Remember, they have a long, dark winter when it's kind of cold, so during the summer, the day seems to go on forever. And this park in the middle of town is a nice place to enjoy it from. Right next door is the train station. This is the terminus of the main line that comes from Oslo. You recall at the beginning of the program we were on the train from Oslo. We came most of the way to Bergen by train, and then we took the boat, so we never did see the train station itself in the middle of town, so we wanted to take a walk over and have a look and show it to you. And very conveniently, there's a tourist information office in the train station. And here you can buy your tickets for Norway in a nutshell. That's the one-day trip that will take you from Bergen back up to Myrdal, and you take the Flam Railway down to the fjords and the bus back up to Voss and the train back to Bergen. On the other side of town is the university campus, and here they have a very interesting culture history museum. And the admission is free, so let's go on inside and have a quick look around. You can see items that date back to the Stone Ages. You can see suits of armor. There's wooden implements. There's farming implements. The cultural and historical materials have particular reference to Western Norway. You'll see traditional costumes and furniture and the looms they weave their clothing on. There's fine collections from the prehistoric and medieval times right up to the present, including some typical farmhouse furniture. They have a nice three-dimensional model of the Bergen itself that gives you quite an overview of that historic collection of wooden buildings that we've just been walking through. You can see how densely populated Bergen was 600 years ago. It was the largest city in Norway and the capital of the country. Gives you a real feeling for life in those days. There's unique archaeological artifacts. There's pieces of medieval religious art, collections of tools and utensils from the Stone Age. There's furniture and folk objects from the urban and rural areas, and a quite extensive ethnographic collection. Shows you what the life of the Sami was like, the reindeer herders. And next door is the Natural History Museum. There's several other interesting museums in Bergen. There's also an aquarium. They have one of the finest and most extensive collections of fish in Europe in the aquarium. And there's lots of shopping to be done in Bergen. Here's a troll. This is a Norwegian folk doll. Many of the little streets in Bergen are for pedestrians only. These residential neighborhoods developed hundreds of years ago before there were any automobiles. As a result, you have quiet lanes. You have peaceful backyards. There's houses up on the hillside as well. And a lot of the shops in the summertime bring their goods out onto the sidewalk for a sidewalk sale. Maybe you can find some drastic markdowns and some bargains here. A few years ago, Bergen was chosen as one of Europe's 3 tidiest cities. The Bergensers are busily engaged in keeping it so by taking care of their lovely old city where past and present exist side by side, especially the unique historic wooden house architecture. This sense of a fondness for the past extends into some of the shops. You'll find a cluster of antique shops in the middle of this residential district as well. Bergen is worth exploring. Just to browse around the old streets and alleyways can be a satisfying experience. Here people have lived and worked for centuries. Small wooden houses lie higgledy-piggledy, cobblestone stepways climb steeply, and the love of flowers spills over everything. Or take a trip into the mountains. Once again, we're going up. The Ulriken cable car will take us to the top of the highest mountain in Bergen. And at the top, a musical surprise waits for us because there's a free concert every night in the summertime about 7 o'clock. It's real easy to get here because there's a bus that leaves from the tourist information office about every half hour, and it takes you to the cable car, and one ticket is all encompassing, includes the bus and the ride up and then the ride back down again. And the cable car runs every 7 minutes throughout the day, so you really don't have to wait around, and also you don't have to worry about a set schedule. You just show up at the tourist information office whatever time is convenient for you, and there'll be a bus leaving shortly. At the top there's a cafeteria, or you can bring your own picnic. But the real payoff at the top is the view. It gives you a spectacular overview of Bergen and the surroundings. And then you can sit back and relax and listen to some of the music. Well, it's a simple, casual concert after all. The music is free and the cost of the cable car is not very expensive, so it makes for a very pleasant outing. You can come up in the morning also if you wish. They open at 9 o'clock in the morning and they stay open until about 10 o'clock at night in the middle of the summertime. So remember the Ulriksbanen next time that you're in Bergen, and you too can have a nice view from the top of the highest mountain in the city. One of the nice parts of Bergen is the residential neighborhood that's up behind the Bergen. We're in the neighborhood behind the old Maria Church, part of the residential section of the old town of Bergen. This would have been a nice neighborhood 500 years ago. There would have been farmers and fishermen living here. And today it's a charming spot. It's been beautifully preserved. The houses are immaculate. There's little gardens, there's little alleyways you can walk through, and it's very charming and picturesque. We're just in the part of Bergen that's very close to the shopping area. We're about 5 blocks away from some busy downtown streets that have buses and cars and stores and outdoor markets. But here in this residential quarter, there is an entirely different atmosphere of a quiet, peaceful calm. And you can come up here in the morning or afternoon, anytime, have a stroll, and you'll see very few cars, and there's just pedestrians and local residents. This wraps up our visit to Bergen, Norway.